What's up guys, today we're going to be going over the new Cloudstrike catalyst and going over its new DPS numbers, damage numbers, all that good stuff, and seeing if it's a real legit DPS option now with this new catalyst, which is triple tap. And when this weapon first came out, it was definitely the best special sniper in terms of almost all numbers, so it's going to be interesting to see how good it is now, and is it something that you should be using for boss DPS fights. And this catalyst drops from doing playlist activities, so for example strikes or crucible. Then once you get a drop, all you need to do is get a handful of kills with it. I think it's like 400, like most catalysts are in the game. So looking at what the Cloudstrike does, since it's been quite a while, the exotic perk, Precision Final Blows, generate a lightning bolt at the target's location. Then secondary perk, rapid precision hits create a lightning storm at the point of impact. So jumping straight into the game, both the triple tap and the lightning storm will be procced every 3 precision hits, and as you see, the lightning storm will hit a target twice for those 2 numbers seen right there. And I tested multiple times, that is the max numbers it can hit. Sometimes the target will flinch or move away and you won't get the full damage, but for most bosses in the game, they'll just stand still and receive the full damage, which will be this 18.8 thousand number and this 11.3 thousand number. So the total damage per shot with the Cloudstrike is 18.3, and the lightning storm will add 30,000 every 3rd precision hit. And before we get into any further testing, since this is a 140 RPM sniper, if you want to shoot even close to the max rate of fire and hit all the precision hits required for both triple tap and the lightning storms, you will definitely need a divinity on your team, which isn't that big of a deal. Even with the nerf, you should definitely have 1 person using this in your fire team for 6-man activities. It's still going to be really good. Maybe a follow-up video talking about that down the road, but using div will definitely be required to get the max DPS out of this weapon. So now with that, looking at the max rate of fire of the Cloudstrike, you'll be able to shoot off 10 bullets per mag because you'll proc triple tap 3 times, and you should proc the lightning storm 3 times also. It's kind of hard to tell because they start to overlap, but every 3rd shot should create a new one, so per mag it should be 3, and you should get 3 bullets back from thin air, both increasing your DPS and total damage output. So looking at the rate of fire for DPS of this weapon, it should look something like this. So 10 shots, a reload, then 10 more shots for the 1 and 2 mag, and I kind of just mixed up the clip of the 10 shots with a reload clip frame to frame, and that took 9.6 seconds. So DPS of 1 mag should be almost 70,000, then over 2 drop down to 56.7, and both those numbers are extremely good for a special weapon. This weapon also holds 24 base reserves with double reserve perks that will go up to 28, which is good because that means exactly 4 mags. So a total damage output of 950,000 up to 1.1 million. Once again, both extremely good for a special weapon. Before we compare 2 different weapons, another thing to note is the Cloudstrike is also really good for AoE Ackler, and given the fact that you have 24 to 28 bullets, I think you could make the case that you could actually use it as like AoE Ackler in situations where there's going to be a lot of enemies grouped together. So that is a big plus that most other DPS specials won't be able to offer. So the sniper I want to compare this to in this video to see how good it is the Ikelos sniper rifle, and I have a V2 one. And the reason I want to use this is because it's a 140, has 4 times the charm, just like triple tap. Then mine also has high impact reserves. The only other real damage perk on the new V3 is going to be Focused Fury. So maybe down the road, once I get a few rolls on that, maybe update a review on this sniper. But this roll should be pretty good, and about the closest thing I have to the Cloudstrike in terms of a 140. So looking at damage on Carl with this, so with 4 times the charm and a 7 mag, you'll be able to shoot off 11 in a row. And as you shoot more and more, your mag size will go up and down, so the high impact reserves will kind of be all over the place. But what I did is just add them all together, and the 1 mag did 243,000, which means that on average the shot did 22.1k, which was on average a 12.5% increase to every bullet. So maybe not the best damage perk for a 140. Like I said, down the road I might make another review looking at that compared to Focus Fury and some other 140s. But that means the DPS of this sniper should be 56.8 thousand for 1 mag and 46,000 for 2 mags, which are both quite a bit lower than the Cloudstrike. This sniper also holds 26 with double reserves, which means a total damage output of 887,000, once again a lot lower than the Cloudstrike. And the final sniper I want to compare in this video is going to be a 90 RPM with triple tap plus Vorpal. It's the closest one to the Cloudstrike that I have on my account right now. Definitely not a god roll by any means, but just getting it in a ballpark, comparing it to a 90 RPM. Looking at the damage on Carl with this, it's going to be quite a bit higher, as you'll see right here, at just over 30,000 per shot. And looking at the rate of fire, so the 1 mag will be pretty quick because it's only 4 shots, then 2 mag of 8 shots. The DPS of this for 1 mag will be 60,000, and over 2 it goes down to 40. But if you had one with a bigger mag size and actually took advantage of triple tap, that should be a little bit higher, but not too much higher. So once again, the Cloudstrike numbers are just way better, even compared to 90s or some of the best 140s. So Cloudstrike is definitely the best special sniper in the game, and among one of the highest DPS special weapons in the game, only kind of behind shotguns. But for most boss fights, a sniper is going to be way easier to use than a shotgun because you can use it at range. So honestly, one of the best DPS specials in the game, period. The only downside you might have is total damage output, but since, you know, it's a special weapon, you still have your heavy slot, and there's all kinds of good legendary heavies in the game. For example, take your pick of a linear fusion rifle or even a rocket launcher, and pairing that with a Cloudstrike will definitely bump up your total damage output, and you should have no problem there either. So is the Cloudstrike a legit DPS option now? I would say absolutely. For longer boss fights, for example raid boss fights, or even the new battlegrounds, I can definitely see the Cloudstrike plus, you know, a linear or a rocket being extremely good, both for DPS and total damage output. But I would say for just general play, I still like using a shotgun for those close range majors, ultras, mini bosses, wherever it is. So I'm not quite sure Cloudstrike would be something I'd be using like all the time. I think you definitely need a div to take advantage of its full damage output and its rate of fire. So for most 3-player activities, you know, you're probably not going to have a div on your team. And that is where just using a linear, a shotgun, a rocket, whatever it is, will be better off. But I think for those boss fights where you kind of prepare for it, like a raid, I think the Cloudstrike plus a heavier choice will be a really good option. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the video. Down the road I might make a review on the Ikelos sniper rifle and seeing a few more of the perk combinations on that, along with the new way that the Darcy works. So yeah, definitely look forward to those. The rest of the video will just be some gameplay with the Cloudstrike, along with the new Vanguard SMG if you want to see what a good roll of that looks like. Some gameplay of that also. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.
There was another tank on the elevator. Final round. A mighty cabal challenges. always happen.